Hello again, and welcome to another installment of the Red Shadow's favorite TV shows. And today I am talking about another Nathan Fillion vehicle. If you've watched my last one about Firefly, you know that I love Nathan Fillion's work. And I don't think that the guy gets a fair shake sometimes. Like Firefly only went 14 episodes and got a movie later on due to fan demand. But a lot of the things that he's been in, as far as like in the TV show arena, has fizzled out and died. Definitely not through any fault of his own. He's amazing. I would really like to watch more of the movies that he's done. But for the most part, my experience with him comes from Firefly, the show that this video is about. A short-lived Fox show that he did called Drive, and even, if you can believe it or not, the soap opera One Life to Live that he was a character on for I think a few years back in the late 90s or early 2000s. But anyway, the show that we're talking about today is an ABC show, a police procedural / romantic comedy. It's kind of a combination of all those things. It's not a hard-nosed serious show like a CSI or Law and Order or NCIS or some of those kind of shows. It's a little bit more on the lighthearted side, and that's what I love about it, because Nathan Fillion is an amazing comedian, or at least as far as like comedic timing in shows like this. I guess he doesn't really rate as a comedian, so to speak. He doesn't do stand-up, but he's an actor who has a full grasp of comedy. And anyway, the show that we're talking about is Castle. And I'll go through my seasons here. This is season 1. Season 2. Got lots of glare here. Season 3. Season 4. There's Nathan Fillion and Stana Katic, whose name I hope I am pronouncing right. There's Season 5. And the most recent release, which is the 6th season of Castle. And the 7th season is currently airing on ABC, so I mentioned with the Firefly series that I would have liked to have seen it go at least 3 seasons, but up to like 7 or more. And I think that 7 seasons is such a great comfort zone for a good show. If you go too many more seasons than that, I mean, the show may still be popular, but a lot of times they start to really go downhill when they get up around that 10 season mark. So I hope that Castle wraps up within the next few seasons and doesn't run it, like, overstay its welcome. Right now, I have watched all 4 of the first season, all of the first 4 seasons, and a few episodes into season 5. When season 5 was airing on TV, I attempted to sit down on every Monday night and watch it. Problem was, it was coming on at like 9 o'clock my time, and as much as I loved the show, when it came to like commercials and all that stuff, and the comfort of my own couch, I would just zonk out, and after a few episodes I just gave up. I was like, I'll wait for the 5th season DVD to come out, and I'll watch it. And in the last year or two, I've become really, really lazy about even the things that I love so much. So I have never had a chance to sit down and finish watching season 5, watch season 6, and then season 7, which is ongoing right now. But that should say nothing about how I feel about the show. I love Castle. I would never even would have expected when it started that it would intercept its way into my top 5 favorite TV shows. I have so many other favorite TV shows that had hovered in this spot for years, but Castle made its way in. And it's really funny too, because as much as I love Nathan Fillion and as much as I loved Firefly at the time that Castle started, I wasn't even the person in my household at that time who was watching the show. My ex-wife now, my wife at the time, she was the one who started to watch it. And I would just kind of be in the room, and I watched a few episodes, and I was like, this is pretty good. I like this. And it's Nathan Fillion. I just wasn't sure. I guess at that point I already knew that so many good shows, for a lack of a better term, and pardon my language here, but so many good shows these days get shit on by their networks. Like Firefly, 12 years ago, when it got canceled after 1 season. And I figured it out that anytime there's a good show that I like, on the good networks. Even ABC, which is like my favorite network, I root for ABC every time they have a good show, a hit show, even if I don't care for the look of the show. I love it when ABC does well. They had Lost, and I'm an ABC guy. If anybody out there says they're a certain network guy, I'm an ABC guy. But even ABC canceled good shows before they had ran their course. A show called Invasion that aired the season after Lost debuted, and it was really, really good. Got one season, ended on a cliffhanger, got canceled. The point is, I expected Castle to probably not get any love, and it was probably going to be shot down after its one season. Its first season was a replacement season, so it was only like 12 or 13 episodes. And I just figured it would get killed off, and I wasn't going to invest my time into something that looked good. Well, I was wrong, and in this kind of an occasion, I'm glad that I was wrong. 7 seasons now that Castle's been around, and it just seems to me like it got better and better every time. Like every season, every episode was just a little bit better. And it's a romantic story about these two characters. Of course, in the beginning, they start off not doing any of this. By the time you get to around this point, there's wedding bells are in the air. And I think I kind of like that. A lot of shows drag the tension out, the sexual tension between your male and female leads. And sometimes the shows will even end without anything really ever happening. Or they'll be really, really muddled and mysterious about it, like, say, The X-Files, where Mulder and Scully had a kid together, and yet they didn't really ever have a relationship with one another. And in this show, they've embraced it, and they've made it a part of the storyline, and it's really awesome. It's got such a great cast of characters. Like I said, Nathan Fillion is awesome. I love that guy. Stana Katic is amazing. She's beautiful, great actress. She made that part as kind of a hard-nosed female cop who is basically forced to let this writer, Richard Castle, tail her and her group around and watch them solve crimes, and because he's doing research for a brand new book with a brand new character who was eventually based on her character. Her name is Kate Beckett. And in one of those wonderful little, cross-promotional things where you bridge the gap between the TV show and reality, they've actually released books written by Richard Castle and based on this character. And I have 1 or 2 of the books. I've read a couple of the books, and they're really good books. They enhance the experience of the TV show. So if somebody's into this show but didn't realize that they had his books out, where you been? Go check them out. But if you're thinking about maybe checking out this show, if you like the show, read those books too, because like I said, it kind of brings things full circle. But it's a really great show. It's funny, lighthearted, like I mentioned before. I love all the little in-jokes and the subtle, I guess like in-jokes is the right word, or the little subtle nods to their show, their characters, and their previous shows. In a Halloween episode, Nathan Fillion dresses up as a space cowboy, and he looks just like Malcolm Reynolds, his character from Firefly. They also have at least 1 or 2 episodes where they talked about and referenced nicely to Mulder and Scully in The X-Files. You're going to win me over with something like that, because that is my favorite show. So I can't go on enough about how much I love Castle. It's just the perfect thing. Like, I love these hardcore sci-fi shows, and they're all pretty much really hardcore, serious-minded sci-fi shows. Lost, Star Trek Next Generation, maybe a little more lighthearted, kind of like a Castle at times. The X-Files and Firefly. Well, Firefly it's funny and action and serious at times and whatnot, but this is probably the most overall lighthearted tone show that I have in my top 5, and in a way, I guess, kind of my top 10. Well, maybe not 100%. I'll work that out in the future. But anyway, I love Castle. I recommend it to anybody. Watch it on TV. Stream it if it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's a Netflix show or not. Check it out, though, if it is. It's really, really good. I can't recommend it enough. And anything Nathan Fillion has a part in is gold, in my opinion. So that kind of wraps up this top 5 of my favorite shows. It had been my intention to stop after the top 5 and then maybe make one longer-ish kind of video to talk about maybe my other top, like the rest of my top 10 or top 15 shows, and instead of separating them into their own videos. Or I might just go ahead and proceed on with separate videos. I don't know. That's me in a nutshell. Not really sure what I'm going to do right up to the very end. But anyway, I hope you have enjoyed the videos that I've done so far for my favorite TV shows. I said stay tuned for more. Stay tuned in the near future, for my favorite movies. And I think I'm going to do like my favorite albums for music. I think that's the best way to do it. And then maybe I'll have a video where I talk about some of my favorite musicians and bands in general. But that's all stuff for another time. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next one.